Alongside the Monaco and Po Grand Prix, the Macau Grand Prix is one of the fastest, most exhilarating, and downright dangerous street races in the world. And with previous winners such as Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna, many look towards the event as a place for young talents to make their mark in motorsport history. So get comfy as I tell you all you need to know about this year's Macau Grand Prix. Now, before we get started, it's worth pointing out that I am talking about the FIA Formula 3 World Cup, which is the Macau Grand Prix's more official name. Other racing series like TCR and even Superbikes race during the same weekend, but the main event, the one that everyone will be referring to when they say Macau Grand Prix, is this one. So for brevity's sake, I will be using Macau Grand Prix for the rest of this video, with 2019 being the 66th running of the event. So where is the Macau Grand Prix actually held? Well, it takes place at the Gia Street Circuit on the Macau Peninsula, situated in the Pearl River Delta. The circuit itself is just over 6 kilometers long and features 30 meters of elevation changes over the course of one lap. Many of the circuit's most identifying features have been etched into history, such as the ever-eventful Lisboa corner, the fast and punishing Solitude S's, and one of the tightest corners in the world, the Melco hairpin, which narrows down to just 7 meters in total. And those three aren't the only named corners either. Just about every section of this track has its own fame and infamy. The circuit itself has more or less been completely untouched since it was first run back in the 1950s, with only safety and paddock upgrades being done since then. Combine all of these traits and you get an incredible street circuit that could never be made in 2019. So for all of those historic track fans out there, you will be right at home in Macau. From its inception, the Macau Grand Prix has hosted a medley of different racing machinery, from sports cars to various different formula regulations, but from 2019 and onwards, the event will be home to just a single car and engine supplier. The reason for this is because the Macau Grand Prix will act as a non-championship round of the FIA Formula 3 Championship held in Europe. As such, the car that will be used will be the same Dallara F3 2019 that was introduced this year. Featuring a 3.4-litre Mecachrome V6 engine that produces around 380 brake horsepower, the Dallara F3 2019 will be the fastest car ever seen at the event on paper, so expect to see some records broken. As for tyres, 4 sets of dry weather tyres and 3 sets of wet weather tyres will be available to each driver over the course of the weekend. And speaking of weekend, unlike the main FIA Formula 3 Championship, the Macau Grand Prix will be held across 4 days, from Thursday to Sunday. The event's schedule also differs from the regular championship as well. On both Thursday and Friday, a single practice and qualifying session will be held, at 40 minutes in length each. This means drivers have 2 separate sessions to get to know the track, as well as 2 attempts at putting in their best qualifying times. There's no separate Q1, 2 or 3 sessions in qualifying, rather drivers will have the entire duration of the 40 minutes to set their fastest time. As such, a driver's fastest time from either qualifying session will determine their place on the grid, with Friday usually producing the faster times. It's especially important that drivers use these practice and qualifying sessions wisely, as the tight and complex nature of the Gia circuit means that yellow and red flags are a frequent occurrence, and often ruin potential best times for those already on track. It's safer to get at least one banker lap in, just in case you get caught out by another driver making mistakes. Next, we move to Saturday, which only has one session, the qualifying race. This will be the first race of the weekend, and will be held over 10 laps or a maximum of 60 minutes. And that is a hard 60 minutes, meaning any stoppages during the race will eat into the time allocated. The results from the qualifying race will determine the starting grid of the main race on Sunday, so any driver that qualified low down on the grid can potentially put themselves in a good spot for the main race. Though it can just as likely have a top qualifying driver put themselves in a bad spot following a retirement. Finally on Sunday is the main event, the Macau Grand Prix itself. A longer race than the one on Saturday at 15 laps, this is the one that counts, and where all of the preparations have been leading up to. While 15 laps doesn't sound like a lot, at Macau it can feel like a lifetime, with drivers not only having to concentrate around the tighter in section of the racetrack, but also making sure that no one can slipstream past them down the main straights. Like the qualifying race, the main race is also capped at 60 minutes. However, should there be a lengthy delay, the race director may extend the maximum race time after consultation with the organisers. After 15 laps, the winner of the race will be crowned the champion of Macau. And much like the Indy 500, it really is just the winner that celebrates, as you'll soon find out. As a non-championship round, the Macau Grand Prix awards no points to any of the drivers over the weekend. As for super license points, only the winner will receive any, with 5 points on offer to whoever crosses the line first. Again, really showing that the Macau Grand Prix is an event that only the winner truly benefits from. As one of the FIA's premier events, the Macau Grand Prix will be live streamed on their official website. As for local television, many networks around the world have the rights to the event, so check the links below to see if your location has its own broadcast. Even after 6 decades, the Macau Grand Prix has always put on a show. So far, only 4 drivers have won the event more than once in the modern era, with none of those winning 3 or more times. Though there is a driver on the grid in 2019 that could make that happen. Sure, there's almost always a safety car or a red flag, but in between those moments are some of the most carefully executed and talented driving the world has ever seen. It doesn't matter how well you perform on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday, the only thing that matters is who crosses the line first. And as we've seen in the past, this can be decided on the very last corner. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then let me know and subscribe for more videos like this. My name's Jacob, and as always, until next time, goodbye.